Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. It's Danny, guys. It's Danny. What's up, Danny? How you doing,
Hey,
Danny?
how you doing, man? Good to see you again, boy.
Yeah, dude, I'm just gonna say this. If I come off a little grumpy or just not as energetic as normal, let's just say 2 days, 3 days, 4 days before Christmas, working retail, it will kind of suck the life out of you.
I can imagine.
So I'm telling you right now, if we do good on stream tonight, I'm not doing a video tomorrow.
I
Like
don't I don't
I'm
blame you.
tired. My hip is killing me. I just got home. I haven't even had a chance to jump in the shower yet. I just poured some coffee that I had left over from this morning, and I jumped right in. So, okay, Danny, we're gonna talk about Rise of Skywalker. I think our conversation today is gonna be a little different than our conversation on opening night.
Okay.
So,
Can I make a
uh,
disclaimer?
you can make a disclaimer.
Okay. I listened to your show today. You brought up very valid points. In fact, you the only show I listened to today. So I've been formulating for the past 2 or 3 hours in my mind what I'm going to do tomorrow because I'm only going to do 2 shows on this. I did one of the my early reaction. Then tomorrow I'm going to do something opposite of a fanboy reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But your points were valid. But at the end of the day, I was entertained. I wasn't bored. And the fact that I'm going a second time and spend my money, I like the movie.
I've been there 3 times already.
I've been hearing all day and on things, man. It's to me, it's a little beyond fanatical. But everybody has their opinions, their right views. So tomorrow I'm going to express mine. I've been thinking about the direction I'm going to go. I may steal a little bit of your material. I'm not sure. I don't want to plagiarize. I'll let you know now.
No, go. You can use whatever you
I'm
want.
going to try and do something that's kind of similar to yours.
Just don't play a geek character. That's all I ask.
No, I'm not gonna be a geek carrier. But I like it, man. I talked to some this one lady, Mama Bear in Canada, and boy, she was just tearing it up.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. So here's the thing, man. I've seen it 3 times. I got a lot of messages from people saying, if you don't like the movie, why'd you go see it 3 times? Fair criticism. Why did I go see a movie I didn't like 3 times? Well, I bought my tickets ahead of time. That's the thing. I never disliked the Star Wars movie ever. Even Solo, I went and saw it three times. Right? I never disliked a Star Wars movie. I've always went and seen a Star Wars movie 10 to 15 times when they're out in theaters.
And in your defense, doing what you do, you have to watch it more than one time because you're going to miss something.
Well, what the thing is, every time a new Star Wars movie came out, I've always seen it twice opening night. Always twice, back to back. That way I can get a clear vision before my review. This time I didn't have that time because Adam had to go to New York. So when Adam left here, he went straight to New York. Because he's going to his family for Christmas. He stayed behind for me because I asked him to come on the channel and do this review with me. So we didn't have the option to see it twice this time. So I booked the previous day with my friend Holly. I booked us to go see it the next morning. Then the girl I'm dating, Nikki, who you guys see on the channel all the time, she bought us tickets for opening night on Friday at Universal. So the tickets were already bought. So people were saying, well, why'd you go see it so many times if you dislike it? Well, it was already paid for. I didn't go see it today. I could have easily went and saw it tonight, right? Like there's tickets available. I could have went and saw it tonight. I could go see it tomorrow. I can go see it Monday. I'm going to wait. I'm going to go see it again on Christmas because I promised my brother, my younger brother, I'm going to go take him to see it on Christmas. So I've seen it 3 times. My reaction has changed slightly. Okay, my reaction has, because I think there are those type of moments. Remember I said I don't see the moments in this. I think I kind of see the moments now. They're slight and subtle. They're not big and over the top like the throne room scene and all that stuff, but they are there. I do think they're there. So when we were on Thursday night, I told you there was only one review I cared about. Right? One review, and that was Ken Knapsack's review on Force Center. Mm-hmm. He uploaded his review today. Okay, it was 3 hours long. I listened to it while I was working, and the way he goes about explaining things gives me a completely different outlook on this movie. Completely different. That's why I say, okay, so Shaun just jumped in. What's up, Shaun?
What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Nothing much. Just talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's more bad. I wouldn't say there's no ugly. There's more bad, but you know, it's a catchy title. What can I say?
Good, bad.
That's fucked up what you're implying there.
I'm his business, Shaun.
But no. So I went and I listened to Ken Knapsack's review, and he did a really good job breaking down certain things and seeing a different point of view of it. Now look, even though I agree with some of his reviews, and maybe I did take a more negative look at it instead of looking at the positive like I normally do for a Star Wars movie, I still think it's a sloppy put together movie. Regardless,
I'm curious, did he like it or didn't like it?
He loved it.
I don't know how anybody could actually love it. I mean, I can understand how you might like it, but when I think of loving a Star Wars movie,
dude, his review was 3 hours long. Him and Joseph. Yeah. I really suggest everybody, if you don't follow Force Center, whether you have Apple Podcasts.
I'm curious to see what he said.
Yeah, if you have Spotify's free, whether it be Apple Podcasts, whatever, just follow Force Center. These guys have great outlooks. They break down the nitty gritty. And I really like what they were saying on a lot of stuff. Now, some of the questions that weren't answered, they pretty much said the same thing. Like, well, it wasn't answered, but there was also a lot of stuff in the original trilogy wasn't answered. So I do agree with them on that. Like Clone Wars, we mentioned it one time. We never heard about it again. But even with all their positivity, and I do have a different outlook on it, the movie I still think put together is sloppy. Like just the fact that, you know, you got MacGuffin, and I just think it's very, very sloppy. I see we got a super chat here. Dark Side Doshi said, love the movie, seen it again next week. Well, I'm going to be going to see it again on Christmas, so I'm taking my brother to go see it on Christmas. But
the one thing that I found out and I thought was kind of neat to me, everybody seemed to think that Finn was saying that he loved her, but
no, I don't agree with that.
100%. Look, I'm Force sensitive too.
That's what I was thinking he was trying to say.
Yeah,
and
so I like that turn.
And I actually came around on that too. When
I play it back, I could tell, like when Leia died, he could feel it.
Yeah, when Rey died. When Rey died, he really felt it. He grabbed the side, like he knew.
This is what I don't like about Disney Star Wars. You know, I know that a lot of people didn't like George Lucas introducing the whole midichlorians and the prequels and stuff like that. But at least that gives you the standard. Like some people have it, some people don't. You know, some people will be attached to the Force, some people don't. But Disney, they want everybody to be inclusive. You can't exclude anyone. So now the Force is like STD. Everybody can get it, you know?
Well, that's what Rian Johnson was trying to do. Well, Rian Johnson did pretty much say anybody can have it. But the way I take it is, let's say all three of us are in the Star Wars universe, right? The way I take what George Lucas was saying was all three of us have midichlorians.
Right.
But Danny's midichlorians is higher, so he'd be more Force sensitive than me. Just like everybody can play basketball, but not everybody's LeBron James. Correct. You know, that's the way I feel midichlorians is, you know, and I like and another thing, like I don't have a problem with Poe being Force sensitive, or not Poe, but Finn being Force sensitive. You go back and you look at all three movies now, they kind of hint toward that. You know, he's not picking up a lightsaber and dual wielding Darth Maul or anything, but he just keeps talking about things he feels. And I think, you know, Maz Kanata.
But if he was Force sensitive, if he was connected to the Force the way that people are you know, alluding that he was in the Force, I think it was the Force Awakens in the scene where towards the end where Rey is fighting Kylo and he actually picks up the lightsaber.
Exactly.
You know? So, but I mean, if he, so Rey was completely untrained. That's why people call her a Mary Sue.
He fought on Jakku for
I understand,
years.
but I'm talking about the ways of the Force. So if she was completely untrained in the ways of the Force and with the lightsaber and what have you, if he was Force sensitive, he was a stormtrooper, for God's sake. He should know, some battle technique. So
Robert just explained it to you. It's like everybody in the NBA has a Force, but LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, they were the grandmasters.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so Poe is a grandmaster, so to speak, but Finn's not. He just at the beginning level. So I totally understand and get that.
I just
plus,
I
Finn doesn't have the pedigree that Poe has. I mean that Rey has. And we found out now that she's a
I want Shaun to finish this statement though, because I want to see where he's going with it.
I don't agree that Rey has a pedigree. I think that Rey.
So okay, for an example, can I just throw out an example?
Sure.
Mike Tyson fought on the streets his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He got in the ring and knocked bitches out. He wasn't trained to be a boxer. He knew how to fight.
Sure, but I mean, Mike Tyson knew how to fight, and Mike Tyson was a fantastic boxing champ. But if you would throw him in say MMA, he would probably have his ass handed to him. So
but
just because Rey knew how to fight and she was fighting all of her life, that doesn't.
But she's not good with the lightsaber.
Well, I mean, she's better than she should have been
because she fought on Jakku for at least 15 years.
But it's not just a lightsaber that I have an issue with. It's just how quickly she could use the Force without.
But in The Force Awakens, I can explain that though, because she clearly heard of the Jedi before, because she even says it on the Millennium Falcon when Han comes on her. She's like, I thought they were a myth. So you probably hear stories about mind control. So she's like, fuck it, let me try it. It didn't work. She tried it again, didn't work, and then something worked. It worked.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Now, on your side here, if she would have tried it the first time and it worked right away, then we got a problem, and then I would completely be on your side. But to me, I take it as she heard these stories. It's like us as people, right? Like, I'm pretty sure all of us seen our father do something and be like, let's see if we can do it, and we fuck it up like the first 3 times.
But then again, I mean, with the revelation that people are now calling her Empress Palpatine. I mean,
she never took up that title though.
Well, no, she didn't. She took up. She called herself a Skywalker, but she's technically Palpatine. So, I guess even though the story was messy and very, very crude in a lot of ways, as far as like storytelling goes, the fact that she was in a way a descendant of Palpatine, maybe I can buy into some of this, how she just had a knack for some of the stuff, but the whole Palpatine storyline just did not digest well.
It's muddled. Here, let me get to the super chat real quick, and then we'll go back to the Emperor's thing, because I noticed like most of the fans, that's the thing they're split on. You either buy the Palpatine thing or you don't, and that's sort of like Last Jedi. You either buy the Luke thing or you don't. So,
right.
Okay, let's get to the super chat. My brother pointed the Emperor's plan is similar to Darth Revan's. The planet he was on is very similar to Knights of the Republic. It is his 3rd favorite film. That's great. I never fully played that game all the way through. I keep getting stuck on the one planet and I can't progress. I got the game. Maybe I need to fire it up, if I actually have time to play the game. I hear a lot of Darth Revan talk today. Like, everybody's talking about Darth Revan. I'm like, so, but back to the Emperor thing. It's muddled, man. It really is muddled. They don't explain how he comes back. They don't explain if it's him, if it's a clone, but he does. Okay, so I've seen it 3 times. He clearly says in the beginning of the movie, I have died.
Yeah.
And I've come back. So by him saying he has died doesn't change Anakin's sacrifice to bring balance, because he killed him. He did kill him. But he did come back.
If in fact that's when he died.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know. I mean, they never really clearly answered that. I mean, the Palpatine that Vader killed could have been a clone. We
That's
still don't
true
know.
too. That could be true too.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't think he was a clone.
Was that
He probably wasn't a clone.
I don't think he was a clone.
But they didn't really go into details. So who really knows?
dude? Soon as my YouTube money drops in, I am picking up that fucking encyclopedia. I'm telling you that. RL, I don't know if that's RLL or RLI.
The only way he could be a clone is he cloned himself after his fight with Mace Windu.
I don't know. He was telling Anakin stories about the tales of Darth Sidious.
Okay, my theory. Clone A is Palpatine before he's deformed. Correct? Clone 1B is the Emperor when he fought Mace Windu and got deformed. Then that's the Emperor that Darth Vader throws over the side and he dies.
And you're talking about some like Metal Gear Solid 5 shit right now.
I mean, if you really want to stretch it, I mean, the real Palpatine could have been everything we saw in Revenge of the Sith, up until the point where he took over from the Senate, and when he took over in the Senate, that could have been when he threw the clone in there. We don't know.
I don't think they're. I don't think the Palpatine we've seen in the first two trilogies is a clone. If anything, I'll explain it to you in a second, or I'll give you my theory. I'm not gonna say explain to you because I don't know any more than you guys do. But let me get this super chat from RLI. I assume Obi-Wan explained it. The Force is all around us, flows through us, meaning everyone has it. And some are more sensitive, can channel it better than others. Yeah, pretty much like the basketball analogy. Everybody can play basketball, just not everybody's Jordan. So my Palpatine theory here, not on how he came back, or maybe how he came back, because he does says I've died, and then the Force is a pathway to many things. He literally rips out that Revenge of the Sith quote. So I assume he did die. He did die. But somehow he was able to manipulate the midichlorians to come back. And I just don't think JJ wanted to say midichlorians in the movie. But I wouldn't be surprised if the novel comes out and it doesn't say midichlorians. But it wasn't fully restored. Like, he wasn't fully restored.
He looked really like bad.
Yeah, he looked bad. He had like missing fingers and all kinds.
And when he drew their power from them and their essence, and that's when he came back to the clone, or to the Emperor that was deformed after he fought Mace Windu.
So after listening to Force Center, I have turned completely around about how I feel about her being a Palpatine. I actually, I think it kind of works, and the reason why I think it kind of works is because the reason why it works is because Kylo is the blood of good, and she is the blood of bad. And the blood of bad remained good through the entire trilogy, while the blood of good was bad. And it was the blood of bad that turned the blood of good again. And so
even though they're all technically related.
Yeah, well, not on the Palpatine side, but
not Rey and Kylo.
Yeah, they're not related.
I thought they were cousins.
No.
Because essentially, the way I understand it,
maybe in Alabama they don't kiss cousins like that.
But I mean, the way that I understand it, Palpatine is the reason of the Anakin exists. So he's essentially Anakin's father.
No, he didn't make him out of his own DNA.
Yeah,
he made him out of midichlorians.
Yeah, he didn't make him out of DNA. He just manipulated the midichlorians to get Shmi pregnant.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
they're not blood related. Like there is no Skywalker or Palpatine blood in Anakin.
It's still treading that line, man. And
no,
for me personally, it's treading that line.
No, it's not. I got two stepdaughters, but I'm their father.
Well, sure, and I'm not talking about something like that. I'm just saying that I don't know. It's.
I mean, I know Palpatine's again freaking in the Senate, but
it goes back to the the story just being really, really kind of sloppily put together.
I don't know, man. I never heard anybody say they were cousins before. You're the first person I ever heard say that.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people
This
talk
story
about
right here.
calling them
Does
cousins.
this movie make you think more than the last two?
What?
Does this movie right here generate more conversation, make you think that?
Well, the only reason why this movie's generating more conversation is because it's the final movie in the trilogy. Because now we're going back and we're re-talking about the entire trilogy. Because now we're looking at what happened in this movie, and we're trying to analyze things that happened in the past. So that's the only reason why this is not that the movie.
I don't think Revenge of the Sith had this same kind of power over the prequels as this one has. I mean, this is all that's trending now.
Because there's so many reveals in this movie now.
Well, also, I think the fact that this is technically the end of the Skywalker saga, it might have a little bit to do with it as well.
Yeah. Let me get to the super chat. Darkside Dochi says, with the hate this is getting, will it flop? I've seen a couple people putting out box office numbers today, but I don't know what the box office is like. It's Saturday. How are people putting weekend box office numbers out? The estimates don't come out till tomorrow night. Well, so I don't know why people are putting estimates out. I know the tracking is out.
The tracking is a lot lower than what they initially.
Yeah. What was it, like 175? It was originally supposed to be like 2 something.
Yeah, I think it's actually 140. The last time I checked, it was 140. But
if it comes out on Monday and it's 140 to 150, that's not good.
No. And I know that it's never been a big thing in China, but it's only made, as of yesterday, it's only made 2.5 million in China.
Oh, well, the Last Jedi didn't make that much in China either.
Well, I know, but I mean, it made more than 2.5 million.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like I said, dude, there was a lot of people in my theater that weren't there. There was a lot of empty seats. I don't think the movie will flop because everybody. Okay,
I don't think it's a flop. It's a saga film.
Yeah, people don't know what the definition of flop means. Mm-hmm. Right? They're like, well, Last Jedi made a lot less than Force Awakens. It's a flop. That's not what the flop means. Flop means it loses the studio money. It doesn't make a profit.
Right. And it just we need, I mean, honestly, before we can actually say this is a success or a flop,
we can say if it's a fail.
Well, I mean, even then, and before we can say that it is anything, we need to know what the actually production budget was and the advertising budget was.
Yeah.
And once we have those numbers, then we can kind of
know,
whether it's a success or a fail. Because they really, really advertised the hell out of this movie.
I'm thinking it probably, I want to say it's probably about, with marketing, probably 400 million.
Yeah, because marketing is usually like 2 or 3 times the budget of the actual film.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. But like Cats is a flop. Cats is not making any money. Solo was a flop because that lost the studio money. Same thing with Just League. I've seen people say Just League's not a flop. It made like 600 million. But they filmed the movie twice, so yes, it was a flop. It didn't make it.
Yeah, they did make a profit on Justice League.
If it makes a profit, that determines whether or not it's a flop. And like Shaun said, we have to find out what that budget is and marketing is first.
Yeah.
RLI, dude, I keep stumbling over this guy's name. RLI. Ray was too overpowered, too strong, too fast. Well, Shaun, that's his outlook.
I agree with that, but I mean that doesn't make me dislike the Ray character. I just wanted her to work for it a little bit more, and then I would have been completely happy. If she would have worked for it just a little bit more, I would have probably far less issues with all of the movies. Overall, the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like things came too easy and too natural for her, especially in like Rise of Skywalker. I mean, like things were just so convenient. Like this broke. Well, we have another one under the kitchen sink. We're in the luck. I mean, that just all the time, man.
Yeah, that's what this movie was for sure.
Yeah.
Jason Miller comes in with a super chat. Didn't like Rey taking the Skywalker name.
It was inevitable.
I knew it was okay. So I knew it was going to happen. I wanted it to happen. I wanted it to happen a little differently though. Well, like I wanted
You wanted her to be legit Skywalker.
Well, no. I mean, I kind of that originally coming out of Force Awakens, I wanted her to be a legit Skywalker. Once I knew they weren't going that route, I wanted her to take up the name, but I didn't want her just like my name is, and then look over, see two Force ghosts standing there, and be like Skywalker. Like I wanted, like when she was having a conversation with Luke, you know, she's like, I'm a fucking Palpatine, and then Luke, you know, have Luke say something like, you will always be a Skywalker or something like that. I wanted them to give it to her, not just stand out there and have her take it. I wanted Leia's dead in real life, so unfortunately she couldn't have done it because I think she would have done the perfect transition. But like I wanted Luke to take like almost like hold her for a second, but like, look, you don't be judged by your blood. My father was Darth Vader. Look what I've did.
And they totally could have done that, man. I mean, they established that Force ghosts can solidify.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could have.
You saw that when he caught the lightsaber.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, they could have totally had that touching scene, and you know, where he embraced Rey and said, you know, like you just said, my father was Vader, but
yeah,
I helped redeem him, and you know, so you are a Skywalker, maybe not through blood, but through, you know, tribulation and trials or what have you.
Yeah, something like that. I just didn't like. It's almost like
Well, they kind of sort of give it to her if you count the fact that he gave her Leia's lightsaber. That was kind of sort of
kind of. You mean the lightsaber she barely used,
right? And the fact that Rey was calling Leia master, I was like,
I actually dug that. I
didn't mind that
because in Resistance Reborn, Leia was teaching her the ways of like the how to use the Force and stuff.
It just doesn't jive with me, man. And I don't hate it. I don't hate it. You know,
sounds like you're hating it, bro.
No, it just I have to. I'm still digesting this movie, man. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I'm still digesting it, and you know, it's going to probably take quite a bit more time before I can give a definite answer of where I stand on this movie.
Go ahead, Danny.
This is not algebra. It ain't rocket science. It's a movie. At the end of the day, it was made to entertain us.
No, I don't. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Either you gonna like it or you ain't gonna like it.
No, that's not necessarily.
Same way about The Last Jedi. It took me like 3 to 4 viewings before I actually really made my decision about how I felt, because I walked out of The Last Jedi feeling like really uneasy and like, what the hell did I just watch? You know, because it was so different than any other Star Wars film and so different than anything that I was expecting. And really the same as with The Rise of Skywalker, but not necessarily in The Last Jedi way. It's just the way
the fact that you go to a movie, in my opinion, more than once and pay your hard-earned money 2 times, 3 times, telling me that you like it, unless it's a gift like what Rob did.
But
no, movies,
a lot of people, man, a lot of people can't make it like.
Yeah, sometimes you can't digest what you see, and you have to let it sit for a while. I mean, for a good example, look at the prequels. A lot of people hated the prequels, man. It's not like a myth. I mean, this shit really happened. Right. And now, like after 15, 20 years, people look back on it like, maybe they weren't so fucking bad. The story was really good.
I love the prequels. I think the prequels are the best trilogy out of the 3.
Yeah, but you can't just see something one time, especially something that just came out, and digest everything that movie's trying to say.
It took me a while to digest even the Phantom Menace, just because of all the politics involved, you know. And I liked it. I knew that I liked it, but
there was apparent that y'all two are big time more Star Wars fans than I am. So I'm going to use this example because I think I'm more of an MCU fan than y'all are. It took me. I understood everything the first time I saw Endgame. I was mesmerized.
Yeah, but that movie's not rocket science to figure out.
No, that was just that. I mean, I'm with you on that, Danny. I was mesmerized the very first time I saw Endgame. I was like,
I didn't have to go.
Times I was actually, like I sat straight up and I was like, "Holy crap!" Multiple times on the first viewing. And
here's the difference between the MCU and Star Wars, and this is a big difference. Okay, one is just a comic book movie. They're good comic book movies, but they're comic book movies. They're there to be entertaining, not to give you the meaning of life.
Right.
Star Wars is based on old mythology that has been passed on from generation to generation to generation about the hero's journey and what does that mean and the difference between right and wrong. And they're just Star Wars has so many damn layers to it. Yes, you can watch it, and you can either like it or not like it the first time you watch it, but you can't fully articulate everything that you've seen because there's so many underlining currents to it. Last Jedi is one of those. A New Hope, Empire, all those. The prequels are very, very layered.
Yeah, they are.
So
I mean, and even if I don't, I've said numerous times, on the streams that I don't care for. Even before Rise of Skywalker came out, I don't really particularly care for the prequel, or I'm sorry, the sequel trilogy. But with that being said, the sequel trilogy, along with the prequel and the original trilogy, it's all one big saga. So, I can't disregard it. It may not have ended the way that I wanted Star Wars, Skywalker saga to end, they may not have treated Luke the way that I wanted them to treat Luke, but at the end of the day, I'm a viewer. I'm not the person in charge of writing, the script and directing the movie and stuff like that. So I accept it for what it is, but they're going to be at the very bottom of if I were to rank the films, and also the rewatchability comes into it. How rewatchable are they?
Yeah.
And
I think it's very rewatchable.
Well, I got a question for you, Danny, but let me get to these two super chats first, and then I got a question for you. So Kyle comes in and says Disney Star Wars equals Dragon Ball GT, which is hilarious. It's like it was canon at the time, but Akira Toriyama didn't do it, so it's not really canon. And then Super came out and said no, it's not canon. So that's hilarious. I think that's hilarious. Then we got a bigger super chat coming from Ralph, who says, should have been Force Awakens start, Last Jedi, everything unfolds, Rise of Skywalker climax. Both Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker left us wondering.
Very true.
To be fair, Return of the Jedi did the same thing.
Yeah, but at least the Return of the Jedi gave us more of it was more of a final story than anything else, because we honestly, nobody knew at that point in time in 1983 that there was going to be any more Star Wars, and they had the whole metal,
Let me ask y'all, do you think it would have been? Do you think the Star Wars franchise would have been a whole lot better if you to start 1, 2, 3 instead of jumping to 4, 5, 6?
No.
For I don't know what possessed him to do 4, 5, 6 first, but I can't imagine it any other way, honestly.
Yeah, well, the reason why he did 4, 5, and 6 first was because he never, regardless of what he says, because he does several interviews and he contradicts himself quite a bit. Regardless of what he said, he had a story, and then he got a chance to do one movie. So he took part of that story, ripped out a little part, and made it a standalone film. Then when it was successful, he's like, okay, let me go fill in the rest of the blanks, And then after that, when he did the special edition, that's when he's like, well, let me go back and do the prequels, But it wasn't originally going to be Anakin's story, then Luke's story. It was just going to be Luke's story, That came later, So that's why it broke up like that.
And it works better that way, I think.
I think it does too. I don't necessarily agree with Ralph. I don't think I can say Return of the Jedi left us wondering too. We had Obi-Wan Kenobi talk about a Clone War that we never even heard anything about. There was plenty of questions about Emperor Palpatine, because it's easy to look back at these movies now because we have all of our knowledge now. But if you were back in 1983 when Return of the Jedi first came out, and you'd be like, well, that was cool, but who the fuck was the Emperor? You know?
Actually, man, I did a video on my channel earlier today comparing the fandom and the
similar, aren't they?
No. This was actually a video of like a screening, like going into and going out of Return of the Jedi. And I mean, people were like wrapped around the block, you know, and they were like just hyped. I mean, this is when Star Wars was a legitimate event, you know. And then I went and cut to Drunk 3PO's video where he was kind of circling around. I was like, nobody's here. You know?
I was in that theater.
Yeah, I know you were. I know.
I was like, I walked up like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so you know, it's like Star Wars in 1983, you know, as opposed, because they were. I was comparing the end of the first trilogy, well, I guess the second trilogy technically, but the first film trilogy to the end of the sequel trilogy. You know, the hype and the fandom around it.
Yeah,
and it's night and day. It really is, and I understand that, you know,
but Empire. Empire Return of the Jedi did get some negative reviews from the critics. Critics weren't that big of a fan of it.
Some of that too was that they didn't really have any competition back then. It's going to be hard.
See, somebody could make that argument. Perp made that argument in my comments, and
it's going to be hard to compete against Marvel, even DC now, because Wonder Woman's going to be a slam dunk.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is going to be slam dunk, but this is Star Wars, and when Star Wars is done right, and I mean like George Lucas right, and I think Star Wars can stand toe to toe against any franchise. I don't care. Marvel, DC, you know.
I kind of agree with Shaun on this one, and I'll tell you why. Okay,
Kevin Feige is a bad man.
Here's the thing, George Lucas. The MCU was pretty popular when Force Awakens came out. I remember a lot of people lining up for Force Awakens.
Yes, because anybody knew when the Force Awakens was coming out is that Star Wars was back. They didn't know.
Yeah, that's because how many years passed since the Return of Sith? How many years passed?
5, I think.
Okay, that's why it was a bigger, longer distance. Like y'all preaching, y'all want to see Wolverine in another 5 years, whatever, or Marvel. I mean, X-Men, the same thing. They use that formula. Okay, 5 years, we're gonna get away from the scene, get off the island. So when we make our return, everybody gonna be chomping at the bit. That's why.
Yeah. So I got 2 big super chats I want to get to, but before I do, I want to get to a question I want to ask you, Danny, and just ask you personally, because you're the one that said when you go to a movie, you know right away that you don't need to see it again because you liked it, whatever. And me and Shaun are talking about, well, we need to see it a few times to process stuff. So I got a question, and I want your initial reaction because I know you only seen the movie once. When you were sitting in that theater, and Kylo says, "Rey, you are a Palpatine," what went through your mind?
Holy shit.
See, Star Wars is more than that, though. Star Wars is not just holy shit. Star Wars is she's a Palpatine. What does that mean? What does that mean to that character?
And I was curious, like, when did this happen? How did this happen? But when they broke it down and told me,
I
accepted it.
You're looking at it as what they're telling you on screen. You're not looking about the underlining meaning. That's why I follow people like Ken Napstock on Force Center, because it does mean a lot when you have the Kylo from light turns bad and the girl from bad turns good. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. This is all a mythological story that George Lucas created, and that's why, like, I really agree with Shaun. Was like, I got to see this a few more times before I really give my opinion on it.
Well, like I told you, y'all are bigger fans. Y'all are more, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful manner. Y'all more fanboys. So I'm more the casual fan.
So you're going for just the ride.
I have a lesser degree of whether I like something or not than y'all do on some stuff.
I get that. But let me ask you this, Danny. So when Kylo said, "Rey, you're a Palpatine," do you think that was just as impactful as when Vader said, "Luke, I am your father"?
I was shocked at both. I saw Vader saying, "Luke, I'm your father," quicker than I saw. I didn't know what the hell he was going to tell her. I was just like, what the hell? What's the damn secret? What's the secret? That was going through my mind during that whole process. I can tell you this, I can tell you that. What the hell was the secret? Mm-hmm. When I found out, and then I started kind of backtracking. Well, how the hell?
Well, I think those two reveals are completely different in a way, because I feel like the Luke, I'm your father was something that they just dropped out, man. Like they weren't alluding to it. Like, granted, they weren't alluding to her being a Palpatine either. But to me, that came at like the 0 hour. You know, it was like,
well, it also completely changed like Star Wars from that point forever.
Yeah.
You know, you're understanding everything before that was just out.
You know what was really blowing my mind during this whole movie? How in the fuck is he reaching through time and space and grabbing shit and this and he get lightsaber? That was really blowing my mind.
I explained that.
I know you explained that. I'm just saying now in this conversation, that was a really thing that was like, damn, how the hell is he doing that? That was I hear your explanation and I understand and I accept your explanation. But I'm saying when I was sitting there myself, I was like, how in the fuck, especially the first one.
Did you not?
Did you not? That? I said, that is just as comparable as Luke Skywalker projecting his essence across the damn galaxy.
Did you not think back to Last Jedi when they set that up?
I did, but like I said, that was 2 years ago.
Every time I see something or I saw something like that happen, the thing that popped in my mind was Han Solo from Force Awakens saying, "That's not how the Force works." You know?
Well, to be honest with you, gentlemen, I got to get to these super chats though. But the last thing on this thing is there's a lot of video games. There's a lot of expanded novels. The Force does do a lot of different things.
It does.
So,
but you know, there are so many.
But I like that. I like that little spin because I like when
I thought that was one of the coolest things in the whole fucking movie.
I like when Jedi exhibit different powers, especially I'm gonna go back to Rebels when Ezra could control and talk to those animals. Well, I thought that was cool.
Quinlan Voss can touch an object and basically feel and see what happened from previous, like, because Quinlan Voss was, I can't remember if he was on the Jedi Council. I don't think he was on the Council, but he was in the Clone Wars and he could touch an object and see what happened in the past. So I mean, different people have different powers, and not only that, the Force can do anything. Anyway, let me get to these super chats.
It can evolve. I suppose it can evolve over time.
Because there is no book saying the Force is just this, like mind reading and moving shit with rocks. So
we're just conditioned, you know, over the 40 years that the Force only works, you know, from point A to point B. But you know, I guess we have to evolve with the storytelling, because if it was the same old story of how the Force works, that would get old too.
Yeah. Oh, and Ken Knapsack also brought up a great point, but I'll get to that after I do these super chats because there's like 3 of them I gotta get to. Darkside Doshi, Anakin, I don't like sand. Rey puts his saber in the sand. If Baby Yoda showed up at the end of the movie to meet Rey, I would have freaked out. That is hilarious. I don't like sand. Put his fucking lightsaber in the fucking sand. You know, would have been more poetic, but I don't think J.J. Abrams, you know, pays enough attention to do this. If they would have brought the lightsabers over to Shmi's grave and done it right there, then the whole Skywalker family would have laid to rest.
Yep.
But yeah, there we go, JJ. I seen another big super chat, I believe. Oh shit, man, there's 4 super chats. Okay, so the other one comes from that's Ralph. I already got Ralph's, and then Darkside Doshi. Okay, next one's Valhalla. Kennedy being fired is the first step of damage control.
I agree.
Yeah, she's not going to get publicly fired. She's going to step away. They're not going to do that PR spin on it.
They're going to say we're repositioning her or some Hollywood speak.
Yeah, well, her contract ends in 2021 anyway, so they're just
if this doesn't, okay, let me just say this. if on the off chance that this film does not break $1 billion, I think they will buy her out of her contract.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Sure.
What is her main job for acting at Disney is to make the company money, right?
Oh, you're one of them motherfuckers.
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question.
Well, no, her
based on what I've seen now, she's made them about $3 billion in these movies.
Yeah, but you have to ask yourself how much they would have made with somebody who would have actually had an understanding of Star Wars in charge of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, and if Solo would have been successful and made money, then they would have done the Obi-Wan film instead of doing a Disney Plus series, and we would still be getting films every year. But since she didn't know what the fuck she was doing, I mean, she came out and publicly said there was no source material.
Oh, I definitely agree that she's not smart.
Can you imagine Kevin Feige coming out like, well, we want to do an X-Men movie, but we don't have no source material.
But guess what? She can only do what her boss allows her to do. So some
That's
of
not
this,
true. She is the boss.
No. Some of this blame goes on Bob Iger.
No,
yes, it does.
Bob Iger lets Kevin Feige do pretty much whatever he wants.
Well, let me tell you this right here.
But that's because Kevin Feige has a very good understanding.
I'm pretty high ranking at my job. If I do something stupid, guess what? My boss is gonna have his foot so far up my ass, I'm gonna be coughing damn boot soles. So if he see what the hell the fans are saying, he looking at the numbers, he could have said, look, Miss Kennedy, either you gonna do what I'm gonna say or do this way, or you gonna kick rocks.
Now,
okay, so
and I'll tell you exactly why. Because of the Me Too movement.
Oh yeah. But okay. I will give Kathleen Kennedy slack on one thing, and only one thing. It's the only time I'll ever give her slack. It wasn't her fault what happened with Solo. Bob Iger was the one that wanted it in March. She wanted it in December. It probably would have done a lot better in December.
Yeah, Bob Iger, isn't she the one that had an issue with the first rider?
The director, yeah. So yeah, that is her problem. That part is her problem. But if it was released in December, the movie would have made a lot more money than it did. Bob Iger was the one that put it 2 weeks after Infinity War.
She fucked up under his watch, so he wearing some.
But still, did she? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, a football coach. If you fuck up, dude, the owner has the right to fucking do shit, man.
He's gonna fire the coach.
Yeah, she's the coach. She's got to go. She's got to go. Kyle comes in with a super chat. Man, dude, I think I'm gonna have a stroke. I've been slurring my damn words all day. Revenge of the Sith made 180 million. OW
opening weekend.
Oh
yeah, opening weekend in 2005. I don't, dude. If it comes in lower than like I said, if it comes in lower than 175, we got a problem.
If it comes in around 140, 150, then yeah, warning bells are going to go. I'm actually really curious, and I
looked it up earlier.
What's it sitting at now? Because yesterday
right now,
it was 140.
On, 149 worldwide.
149.
Yeah, but you gotta look at that domestic number though.
Domestic is 90.
90 and has got tomorrow left. Oh, but see, that's just Friday's estimates. They haven't even put in Saturday's estimates yet.
Okay.
The production budget was 275 million.
So probably another 100 for marketing, probably another 100, 150 for marketing. So this movie's got to make a lot of money to make even.
Actually, marketing, I mean, I would think they'd have to, generally speaking, they double or triple the production budget.
Is it in China yet?
Yeah,
it's not going to make
2.5 million in China.
Yeah, it's not going to make in China.
2.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to make anything in China. Star Wars doesn't do all that well in China. So here's the numbers. Well, wrong thing. But all right, fine. I'll just put it up. Okay.
What's the next biggest market?
After China, that's a good question.
Is it something like Canada, Australia, maybe London, England? I don't know. Europe.
Maybe the UK.
Yeah, I was thinking the UK, but I didn't say nothing because I wasn't sure on it. So right here, they got Friday's estimates, and it's at 90. So this is for Thursday night and Friday. They haven't done Saturday yet. So yeah, I mean it's not panic time yet, but
And that's domestic, right?
yeah, that's domestic. Worldwide is sitting at 149, but worldwide is something we look at afterward. We got to see how much is going to make opening weekend first, though,
Yeah.
because that's going to give us the
It's taking a beating because of all the negative.
That's how reviews and stuff work, man. The critics review a movie, and it's up to the consumer to say, "Hey, do I want to give this a try or not?" And like I said, it's sloppily put together, man.
Still have a splat on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, it was like 56% last time I checked, but the fan rating is at 80 something.
I read, I think it was Grace Randolph that said something to the extent of this is like the lowest rated Star Wars film, and I forget what she said, but I mean,
The lowest is Phantom Menace.
then it may have been in like 20 years or something like that.
Yeah, so here it is right now. We got 57% of critics and 8 is positive for audience. So
that's exactly the opposite of
Last Jedi. Yeah, I think that's the opposite of Last Jedi.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Last Jedi made 1.3 million first weekend worldwide. Domestic made 620.
So yeah, so there was something I was gonna tell you, Danny. Something I was gonna bring up. I completely forgot what the fuck it was now. It was something important. Oh shit, what the fuck it was? It was oh my god.
You already asked me.
No, there was something else. There was something else. I don't even know. I guess it wasn't all that important. I think it was important, but I don't remember what it is. It was something else I heard from Force Center.
Dodge the bullet.
I'll think of it. I'll probably think about while I'm taking a shit or something, though. But damn, man, it was something too I wanted to hit on, man. Because I remember you saying something about them with the lightsabers and shit, and it had me thinking. I thought about it. So I didn't come up with this connection until Ken Knapsack brought it up. The entire prequels was about Anakin wanting to save Padme from death,
right?
And
Kylo did it with Rey. That the grandson of Anakin Skywalker learned to stop someone from dying.
Yep, that's pretty powerful.
That was probably an accident. They probably didn't.
I don't think it was an accident because when Ken Knapsack and them broke it down, Kylo did it. Okay, so Anakin wanted to do it for selfish reasons because he wanted Padme to be alive for him, to be with him. Where Kylo did it selflessly. Like he didn't care about his life. He just gave up. He wanted Rey to come back to life. So he was willing to transfer his energy in order to revive her. So it was done selflessly, where Anakin wanted to do it selfishly. So I mean,
back to what Mr. What's his name? Freddie Prince was saying.
Freddie Prince
always be some kind of balance. So the way if one sprouts up, then another one sprouts up. So
speaking of balance, I like the way you said that. Because I was thinking something about her lightsaber color. I seen a couple people going, "Why is her lightsaber color like that? Oh, she's just got to be special." And I haven't heard this from anybody else. This is just my 2 cents here. I think her lightsaber color is that orange yellow for a reason, because I think she had the blood of Palpatine. Yeah, she takes on the Skywalker name. Red saber, blue saber makes that color saber.
Yeah, that's actually pretty brilliant.
Red and blue makes purple.
Does it? I thought it makes. Fuck, man, you just made me look like an idiot. Does it?
Yes. Red and blue makes purple.
Really?
What the fuck makes orange?
Orange is red and yellow.
Yellow. Damn.
Red and yellow makes orange.
Okay, so I'm a fucking idiot, man. Danny, you could have made me have my moment, man.
I'm sorry.
You could have. So that's why Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
He does demonstrate dark side techniques, man. So.
Dark side and light.
Well, Sam Jackson specifically said, look, I want a purple lightsaber.
Yeah. I watched the documentary. He's like, yeah, I want to talk to you about my lightsaber color, like red or was it blue and green? He's like, I want purple. Okay, we can give you purple.
Because you know to Sam Jackson.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite lightsaber out of like the entire Star Wars saga.
Huh?
That's my favorite lightsaber out of the entire.
What, the purple one?
That's the one I would spend some money in getting, like the real one that they get from Disney World that costs $200 or $300.
Yeah,
that's the only one I would spend it on.
I dig like Rey's new lightsaber. I always like the yellow blade. Like
when she turns it on, like that little.
Yeah, it's just the little flick of it. Well, you notice it was her staff. Like she used the two ends of her staff and turned it into a lightsaber hilt. I still would have liked her to see her actual staff with two sabers on it, though. I think that would have been better. Like the Dark Ray had.
And that Dark Ray was. People call me crazy, but Dark Ray was freaking hot.
Oh yeah, she was hot until you saw them fucking sharp teeth.
The whole 15 seconds she was on the screen.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's hot. That's how
until she showed her teeth, man. I don't want that anywhere near my cock, man.
But yeah, that's probably why I'm like so like as forgiving as I am of the sequel trilogy, just because Daisy Ridley is so freaking cute.
I love Daisy Ridley. I wish that I don't know. I'm not disappointed with her character. I just
I didn't care for her in Force Awakens.
I loved her in Force Awakens.
She
loved her.
She really grew on me this movie.
Yeah.
She was kind of depressing me in Last Jedi, a movie that I like, by the way, but she was depressing me a little bit in Last Jedi.
Luke was depressing me in Last Jedi.
I loved everything they did with Luke, man.
And
why is he walking with a cane now?
He wasn't walking with a cane.
Because he was.
I didn't see him.
That was his Force Ghost pimp cane. You know, I mean,
are you sure? I've seen it 3 times. I don't remember him with no cane.
Come on, man. Why am I gonna make something up? He walking with a cane, dog.
Are you sure?
Shaun, did you not see the cane?
I seem to remember him walking with the cane, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find something on here.
Find that.
I do not remember seeing him walking with no cane.
Sure does. Because the only time he doesn't have it is when he's lifting up the X-wing out the water. Other than that, he has it.
Maybe he hurt himself on set.
Yeah,
break
that's
number
kind
2.
of what I was thinking. Mark Hamill hurt himself, you know, and blah, blah, blah.
Or maybe he's like, "Hey Yoda, that's pretty cool. Can I borrow that?" There's no, I can't find nothing. I mean, I guess I could look it up on YouTube, but I don't want to get into it. I'll pay attention to it more, but I don't remember seeing him walking with a cane. I remember seeing him with, you know, he grabbed the lightsaber from her and he had it down to his side or whatever, but I don't remember no cane.
Man, I can't believe you're going to pay to go see this movie again.
Well, so my normal routine is I go see Star Wars movies like 10 or 15 times.
Jeez, man.
But I fucking love Star Wars.
I understand.
But since I am a little disappointed with it, I'm normally like when Last Jedi came out, I saw it twice opening night, twice the next night, twice the following night. This one I just seen the 3 times. Like I didn't go see it today. I'm not gonna go see it tomorrow. But I told my brother I was gonna take him on Christmas to go see it. And Autumn, you know, my ex, she's gonna be with her boyfriend, so I'm gonna be by myself the entire Christmas and Christmas Eve. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and take him to go see it. Because I did have more fun the 3rd time I saw it, you know. But I still have the same problems that I have. I still think it's really sloppy put together. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. There are some parts of the movie I actually like. Like I really love when Kylo gets that lightsaber, and right before he fights the Knights of Ren, he does a little bow. He's like, and just fucking starts cutting them all down.
The Knights of Ren, man, they were so pointless.
They were garbage. I
mean,
I thought they were going to be like Force users and have lightsabers and stuff.
Nah, they pretty much established that in Force Awakens because you can see them with like axes and shit.
But JJ, I mean, JJ would have just, I think, done better to just not even acknowledge them in this film.
He should have just done what Ryan Johnson did. Just don't pay no attention to him.
That was fan service because a lot of fans was like,
Yeah, because
what about the Knights of Ren?
yeah.
What about the Knights of Ren? So
Yeah,
he put them in there for a whole 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like
He actually used them more than I thought he used them, though.
yeah, but they didn't come across as, I mean, like, so in the first two movies, they just built up. I mean, they, of course, they didn't talk about them really that much in, if at all, in The Last Jedi. But in like the first movie, Force Awakens, they just made it. They built it up into like such a legendary thing, you know.
Yeah.
When the Knights of Ren were actually in this movie, I was like, that's the Knights.
Well, Ryan Johnson tried to set him up for success too, because he was like, yeah, Kylo took a handful of students and murdered the rest. So you assume those handful of students were Knights of Ren, and then JJ comes in and be like, no, they can't use the Force. So what happened to the students? Well, the comic book shows that the Knights of Ren killed the other students. So I was like, so that's on JJ for not making them Force sensitive. It's like,
yeah, because why would he take over? Why would he change his name to something that?
So there's a reason for that, but you have to read the comic. So yeah,
again.
Hey, I know how much you hate Canon, man. Hold on, I seen super chat. You need to get into the Canon, man.
I don't hate Canon. I'm just saying that the movie's not going to translate to Canon. It's going to piss off people that read the Canon. So
Dark Side Doshi says, is Rey now the chosen one? She has the power of Palpatine and all the Jedi. She balanced the Force, both dark and light, or am I crazy? No, she's not the chosen one. Anakin was the chosen one.
Was he?
Yeah, he was the chosen one.
Well, I mean, he didn't bring balance to the Force, though.
He did.
Yeah, for a few years he did.
Luke said it. For a while, there was balance. Not everything's going to stay in a state of balance. Like Freddie Prinze Jr. says, the Force is not going to do that. It's always going to course correct.
When did Freddie Prinze Jr. become like a Star Wars scholar?
When he talks to George Lucas and fucking Dave Filoni.
Man, Freddie Prinze Jr. is just sauce. The dude's best work was in Scooby-Doo.
When he became invested in that, man, when he starred as Kanan and the Rebels. Don't you think you're going to talk to the man and say, look, man, how you think I'm going to portray this character? Can you give me some pointers? And then
dude worked with Dave Filoni for 4 fucking years. I think he knows a little more about the Force than we do. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Just saying.
All right. I just don't like Freddie Prinze Jr.
I love that fucking rant. That fucking rant was hilarious. It was fucking hilarious. Like, Grey Jedi, fuck you. It's like, perfect. Finally, somebody says it. There is no Grey Jedi. Shut the fuck up with that shit. I don't care what happened in the old EU. There is no such thing as Grey Jedi. You either go to the light or you go to the dark.
I disagree.
The Bendu is in between. The Bendu is in between.
Whatever you want to call it. Bendu, Grey Jedi. I mean, still the same thing.
No. It's like when people say dark Jedi. There ain't no dark Jedi. You're just a fucking Sith.
Exactly. Who's this dark Jedi? Come on.
It's like, but I don't take it as she was the chosen one, because George Lucas came out and said, you know, because a lot of people in the story thinks differently. Right? Like Obi-Wan thinks Luke is the chosen one. Well, that's just what he thinks. That's not true. Anakin's the chosen one. You know? So I don't take her as the way I took this movie was it took the light and the dark to overcome Palpatine. They called it something. It was like a not a deity, but oh my god, there was something. But it took the power of those two.
Yeah, the duality or something.
Something. It's something, and that's why the bond was so strong with those two. And pretty much Snoke said it. You know, the dark rises and the light rises to match it. You know, so I mean, look, you either buy it or you don't. Okay, it's just
okay. Let me ask you this: since he created Snoke, and they're prepared for seeing some things by his connecting them and by connecting them mentally, like he did, and making them stronger. Do you think he realized that if he tapped into their combined energy, it would restore him, or that was just something he looked up on?
I think he found out at the last second, to be honest with you, because his whole plan was to have Rey kill him so he could jump into her.
Yeah.
But then when he zapped their powers, he realized, oh, the powers of these two combined is enough to like, if he would just take Rey's power, it would just kill her. If he would take Kylo's power, it would just kill her. But them two combined is what regenerated him.
Because Captain Planet, those two mofos.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, because their bond is that, whatever that word is, I can't pronounce.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Dark Side Doshi comes in with another super chat. Man, he's like all over the super chats tonight. In Attack of the Clones, Yoda says maybe the prophecy of the Chosen One could be wrong, and Return of the Jedi. Obi-Wan says there is another. We thought Leia is now ready. That's 100% false, dude.
No, it was Leia.
It was Leia. You know why it's Leia? Because it's in fucking canon. If you read the novel, from a certain point, dude, do you want my expert opinion or not?
They were essentially alluding to the fact that if Luke turned, there was another hope.
Yeah,
because the twins were separated.
In the novel, okay, I'm gonna do this to you, Danny. In the novel, okay, from a certain point of view, it is clearly stated that Yoda thought that Leia was the chosen one, and Yoda wanted to train Leia, but Obi-Wan wanted to train Luke because he thought Luke was the chosen one. So when they say when Yoda goes, no, there is another, he is talking about Leia.
Yeah,
Rey wasn't even thought of. How
exactly? There would have been like 30 years of like disaster and turbulence. If they had to wait for Rey.
Yeah, I hate when fans take little things like that and they try to make it like George Lucas didn't know who the fuck Rey was back then.
George Lucas didn't even create Rey.
No, well, he created Kira, which they turned into Rey, but that's clearly Leia he's talking about.
And they only changed it into Rey so they didn't have to pay Lucas any type of royalties for using his source material.
You really still believe that, don't you?
Dude, there are like documented sources everywhere.
But they bought his drafts. Why would they have to pay him for the name if they bought his drafts?
Because he's like I said, he had to give permission for the screening of the original cut of Star Wars. He still is invested, to some extent.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he is. He is a stockholder investor.
He didn't go to Disney and ask them permission. They asked Lucas specifically if they could show the.
Well, that's because he has in the contract that those aren't the real films, the originals. That the special editions are the real films.
Right, I understand, but I mean, who knows what else those contracts say, man? I mean, Lucas is.
Oh, you're right. Like I'm pretty sure. Look, I'm pretty sure whatever they sell, he gets like a percentage. Like the dude ain't stupid, man.
I think that's why they killed off the legacy characters so fast.
Well, he was gonna kill the legacy characters off too.
Yeah, but I think that's why Disney killed the legacy.
Who controls the legacy properties now?
It depends who you ask.
Yeah, it really does. There is no like official like hardcore answer on this. I really would like to know.
I think there'll be in a few years there'll be a book.
Do both and just pick the best standalone stories and make the movies. That's right.
Absolutely.
Dark Side Doshi says, "Is a black people first order stormtrooper now what?"
Finn was a black stormtrooper.
Oh, but I don't understand the structure of the sentence. Is a black people? Do you mean a black person first order stormtrooper now? What?
I mean, honestly, stormtroopers could have been of. Well, okay.
Stormtroopers are all
the black girl was a stormtrooper. She said.
Well, I guess if you go back to the Clone Wars, they were all cloned after like the one person.
Yeah,
Jango.
But once once the Empire took over and got rid of the clones, they started recruiting just like any government will start recruiting. Because if you want to go to canon, Danny, Cena Ray in the Lost Stars novel is black, and she joined the Empire. So they have black, Asian. Well, there is no race or anything in Star Wars. Yes, they look different, but I'm pretty sure they call different. But I mean, there's black people, Asian people, like all kinds of people.
I guess they're planets, whatever, Martians.
There's no aliens in the Empire, though.
There's no what?
There's no aliens in the Empire. The Empire is very racist when it comes to aliens. They're the Nazis.
They'll be humanoid.
So the as far as stormtroopers go, as far as my understanding is, it's not made up of like one specific race. That was under the clone administration, essentially. They were all carbon copies of Django, yeah. So but once they essentially initiated the draft, I mean, all colors could sign up to be stormtroopers.
Yeah, fucking race alone was a Grand Admiral. She's black.
Yeah.
That's more canon, Danny.
As long as you're not an alien, they didn't discriminate.
Yeah, if you were an alien, they just sold you into slavery.
Yep. I think that Darth Doshi kind of went further on what they meant by that first question.
What first question? What
you say is black people first? What you got posted up now?
Yeah.
She does clarify. Correction.
What did he say?
What did he say? I'm looking for it. Is all I mean? I mean, is all black people first order stormtroopers now? I still don't get that.
I think they're trying to ask if like all stormtroopers are black.
I guess because she saw Finn's a stormtrooper, now she saw this black female. I'm assuming she's asking, are the stormtroopers all black now? I don't think so.
No, it's just like it's like
two black stormtroopers.
It's like if you look at our military, you'll have all different kinds of races. Right. That's the way the Empire.
I don't think there's anything established to even like make that assumption at this point.
No, the reason, you gotta look at the reason why the original trilogy had like all white people as Imperials and stuff was because, let's be honest, back then Hollywood, that's what they did. Yeah. It was white people in Hollywood, So when JJ came, is like, we're gonna do a black stormtrooper. Not like there's never been black stormtroopers, but it's never been portrayed like that on screen.
And honestly, can I say that like when like the first images and whatnot came out for Force Awakens, I legitimately thought Finn was going to be the Jedi.
Everybody did. Everybody.
I'm glad it's not just me, because I was like, holy crap, we've got a black Jedi. This is going to be kick ass. And
he still could.
I thought he was doggone Billy D. Williams' character. I thought he was Lando's son. That was
I did too.
If he was going to be Lando's son, I would have been pissed. It's like, oh, what? He's related to the only other black guy in Star Wars?
That what was going out. That was the story going out there. Oh, that's going to be Lando Calrissian's son. I was like, okay, whatever.
I mean, that they could have easily made that connection.
I hate when movies take place in the same universe and they're always related to the same people. Yeah. They do that in every movie, just not this. But it's like,
that's why I'm looking forward to like whenever they, 5 years from now or so, they do like the next movie. I'm looking forward to them moving away from the lineages that we know.
Yeah, I want to see them go either way in the future or way in the past.
Next Star Wars movie is going to be fantastic. Everybody's going to love it.
Would have been dope as fuck if at the end of this movie when they're like, we need more help, we ain't got no ships, dude. Would have been awesome as fuck. Is the resistance is getting fucked up, and then all these ships come in, and it's Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Chiss supremacy, like his people, like all the blue skin people, just come in to take out the First Order. Like that would have been dope as fuck, man. Because they're in their space, they're in the Chiss space. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that live out in the unknown regions. So by the First Order being there, they're kind of invading Chiss territory. I know that's more canon.
I mean, the First Order doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. What, Danny?
Cool if Ezra was on the bridge with On too.
That would have been cool too, but Ezra would have been like old as fuck though.
And whales and stuff.
No, keep them whales out of the movies. I don't want to see them whales in the movie. Oh, we got a super chat. Gary Grant says, "So what's the EE for Ahsoka? What's the EE for Ahsoka? What
EU for Ahsoka?
I don't know. Gary, if you want to, I'm going to go to the next super chat. If you want to just write a regular question and clarify your question, we'll go back to it. Okay. The Easter egg for Ahsoka. Okay, what's the Easter egg for Ahsoka? Her voice was just one of the ones that told Rey to rise. I did hear Canon the third time I went. I heard Anakin say restore balance like I once did. So that also confirms that he did restore balance for a time. I heard Luke, I heard Kanan, I heard Ahsoka, I heard Qui-Gon and Mace Windu. Who?
Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda. Well, you can't. If you miss Yoda, then you got a problem. Only one motherfucker talk like that. But there was a bunch of.
I didn't hear Mace. So.
I thought I heard Mace, but dude, like I said, I hate when they do the voices. I wish they would have all just showed up.
Yeah, that would have been better.
And each would say something as they appear. That would have been awesome.
Yep. Now, I guarantee you, if George Lucas was still around, he would do a special edition making them Force Ghosts.
He would have actually not even had to wait for the special edition. He would have just shown them all on screen.
Yeah, he did that with Attack of the Clones. Like he was editing it through the same weekend. Like when Django got hit, like the first weekend he started adding like sparks and shit to his like jetpack and stuff, during the arena. So like George Lucas edits all the time. He don't give a fuck.
Nah.
Dark Side Doshi, what was your reaction to Chewie's fake death? I knew he wasn't dead because I seen the trailer. I'm through my candy and walked out to the bathroom. My friends thought I was done for good. If you thought Chewie was dead, then you got problems, man. No offense to you, Dark Side.
When I got problems, I thought he was dead. I was like, what the hell?
You're about as bad as Adam, man. I told you the story about Adam and Power Rangers, right? Like we went to go see Power Rangers and he thought Billy died and he started like crying and shit. I'm like, dude, he's in the trailer. I promise you, he's still alive. Like in the trailer, it showed Chewie flying the Falcon with Lando. That scene didn't happen yet in the movie, so that told me he wasn't dead.
That's true. That's true.
At first, you thought he was, then you caught yourself.
No, I did not think he was dead at any point in this movie. Never once when he goes, "Oh my god, I killed Chewie," was I sad. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure he's on a different transport, or he wasn't on there at all because he still got to fly the Falcon with Lando. Now, if the Russo brothers did a trailer, then I might be worried because they make a lot of lies in their trailers.
True story. Yes, you can never trust any Russo trailer.
I can't believe you got upset, Danny. That's kind of I don't know, emotional.
At first, man, I did. I was like, what the hell? I mean, that's the last question other than R2D and C3PO. That's it.
Hey, Wookiee lives matter, man. That's all I'll say.
Wookiee lives do matter. But Wookiee lives matter. I can't believe you got upset with that, Danny.
I mean, I can see how you like. If you did not see all the trailers, I can see how you would think that that Chewie was like dust at that point in time.
Let me put my disclaimer back again. Not a fanboy. Okay,
you literally are a fanboy.
I think fanboy is like a bad thing to call.
I'm casual. I promise you this. I'm gonna make a show tomorrow about this topic, and that's gonna be it. The only other time I'm gonna discuss the topic and get in depth, I'm gonna hear with y'all because y'all my boys and I enjoy talking. But all this other 4 and 5 different things, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I can admit that I am much more knowledgeable when it comes to DC than Star Wars, but I like Star Wars and I have a lot of hardcore Star Wars fans. So even if I didn't acquire this knowledge firsthand, it's something I've picked up over the years. Just
as long as I'm alive, Star Wars man, I'm gonna go see.
Oh, sure.
That's a given. and most definitely Marvel. But
Disney over Marvel for me, but yeah, Marvel still for sure.
Buddha comes up with a super chat. We got two
continuing.
super chats. Popeye's chicken sandwich is way better than Chick-fil-A's. I disagree. Popeye's chicken sandwich, it might be bigger, but it's the one I had didn't taste better than Chick-fil-A.
Going crazy though. Don't 3PO had it. He was just it tastes better than ice cream. It tastes better than
I do love Popeye's chicken in general, like over KFC and like Church's for sure.
I like KFC.
Churches at all.
I've never been to Church's ever.
But KFC potato bowl? Oh Lord.
Dark Side Doshi says disappointed Rey isn't a part of Ewok or Hut.
Well, she doesn't have the bad skin or the fur, so
yeah.
They were talking about Endor. I was like, I do not want to see the Ewoks.
We saw Chief Wicket, man, with his son. Chief Wicket with his son.
I missed that part.
I wish they would have showed us fucking Naboo. Dude, I was so pissed we didn't get Naboo. I am so like, I'm like, well, sure they're gonna show Naboo. Like, as soon as they revealed Rey was a Palpatine, I'm like, oh, we're definitely gonna get a shot of Naboo. And that's Palpatine's home planet.
Yeah, that'd been cool if he'd been back on there.
Yeah, it was like wouldn't that have been awesome if there's like the family dropped her off at Jakku and went back to Naboo, and that's when they got murdered in Naboo? Like,
it would have been cool if they want to explore the clone Palpatine being a clone. They go back it's the regular Palpatine before he gets hurt. And then they show the one that's hurt. They kind of balance each other. That would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
I think we're gonna get more on the clone stuff later because that one character who plays in Lost, he's the one that mentioned that he was fucking around with cloning and shit. So that might be possible. But I'm a little disappointed in this entire trilogy. We didn't see hardly any. We didn't see any prequel planets.
Yeah,
we didn't.
No material to make all them damn destroyers with a Death Star cannon.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this hard. The cannons, I don't know, but here we go, Danny. In canon, at the end of the Aftermath trilogy, a fleet of Star Destroyers do go out to the unknown regions, and that's where they create the First Order. So I assume that when they go out to the unknown regions, because that's where they meet Snoke too, at that point, Palpatine already had himself pretty much his plan stepped in motion. He creates Snoke. Snoke goes and then leads while he's still trying to recuperate. So I believe that Palpatine decides, okay, we're going to take this amount of our fleet. We're going to leave it in the unknown regions. The other half's going to go back as the First Order. That's my idea. I think they're going to elaborate on that more, but they at the end of the Battle of Jakku, all of them go to the unknown regions anyway.
Of course, when you say in canon, you're speaking of books, which they don't actually count as source material, though.
They do.
Not according to Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy's a moron, but the storyboard group counts it.
Yeah, no source material.
But that's why in the Mandalorian, the Empire that you see that's in the Mandalorian show, that's just remnants of the Empire. The actual full Empire is in the unknown regions right now, or what's left of them, because now they're developing the First Order. So they went out there with Ray Salone and Brendel Hux. I hate the way they did Hux in this.
Yeah, I agree.
Mandalorian episode, the last one.
What happened?
When is it? Is it this Thursday?
The 27th, next Friday.
I'm ready to see it.
I am too. But you know, the thing that, speaking of like the destroyers and stuff like that, I mean, you can tell that this was like all an afterthought, you know, written by somebody other than George Lucas, because when you go to the original trilogy, you know, the Death Star was like the be all end all of weapons.
Yeah.
And it was destroyed twice. So if there would have been anything besides the Death Star, why didn't Palpatine use it then?
I was watching Comics Explain, or not Comics Explain, but Star Wars Explain. I was watching Star Wars Explain this morning, and he gave his spoiler review. He went over some of the stuff he didn't like, and he's like, I hate the fact in the sequel trilogy they always keep bringing fucking planet destroying devices up. It's like it takes away from how special the Death Star is.
Exactly.
You know, it's like oh, here's Star Killer base. You know, it's 3 times the size of a Death Star, but it still does the same thing, right? Rian Johnson got away from it. You know, he used Death Star tech as his battering ram, but he didn't have like a planet destroying device. And then here comes JJ, and JJ's like, no, we're gonna give every Star Destroyer the ability to blow up a planet. Like that gives it higher stakes or something. Yeah. You know, it's like, dude, there's plenty of Star Wars stories that don't blow up planets. Not every fucking movie has to have a planet blowing up.
Exactly. You know? They didn't have to go there.
I think what didn't make sense to me either was if he had these 2 holocrons, I'm going to call them. Why didn't he have something that would get the fleet out there without depending on some kind of antenna? That didn't make sense to me.
What are you talking about?
They had to have an antenna to guide themselves out of the Sith planet, or they changed that antenna to that command ship. I'm saying if he had these 2 holocrons that Kylo Ren had, and then Rey had the other one that Kylo Ren destroyed, why didn't he have one that he could just put on the ship and get him out there instead of building an antenna or something? That didn't make sense to me.
Who?
Palpatine.
I don't know. I had to go back and check. I didn't pay that close.
I don't understand why they said they couldn't leave that place without that antenna, correct?
Well, yeah, the way I looked at it is that planet was basically inside like the Bermuda Triangle. The way they made it, you know, because you had to kind of go through that like nebulous or whatever to get to it.
They needed it for navigation purposes.
Yeah, it make sense for Palpatine to have one of them holocrons. We could specifically put in one of them ships or something.
Yeah, but there's only 2 of them. He didn't have one.
Well, how did he get there?
How do you know they didn't? How do you know that they didn't leave to go to the unknown regions and just happened to stumble upon that and then been stuck there this entire time?
Now we're just getting into a lot of hearsay.
Yeah, that's hearsay. That's 100%. But because they said there was only 2 of them, right? Rey had one.
Yeah, I understand that, but if there's only 2 of them, and once Vader threw his ass into that pit, how the hell did he get there? If he gotta have that thing to guide you there.
Dude, if I had the answers, I'd be working with Lucasfilm.
That's just a question I'm asking.
Yeah,
that you don't. Another question that we don't have an answer to.
It's one of many that we don't have the answer to.
Maybe there was 3. Maybe Palpatine had one.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm just asking.
That's something that
it's just one time that Canon doesn't save the day.
Because they haven't explored that yet in Canon. The movie just came out.
Okay.
So give me about 6 months. I'll come back with like 500 answers.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's lazy Canon, man.
Wait till I get my encyclopedia.
Lazy Canon.
I want one of the encyclopedias. Let me know when they come out.
Canon should only be what is written, you know, by the time the movies come out, because now you're talking of we need to fill in all these plot holes.
If that was the case,
man.
If that's the case, we never would have got the Clone Wars cartoon. The whole reason we got the Clone Wars cartoon was to fill in the gap between episodes 2 and episode 3, and for the people that didn't like the prequels to give more exposition on Anakin and Obi-Wan and fill in that gap.
As much as I like the Clone Wars, I don't feel that we actually needed the Clone Wars.
I don't feel like we needed it either. But that can be said with anything. Do we need it? You got like
I need the new Ghostbusters movie.
Well, so do I. but people look at the new canon and they think it's like dirty or something. Look, they're not saying you need to read this. It's for people like me who want to know every aspect. So I enjoy it. It's something I do for stress relief. I'm like, I'm not picking at you about canon, because I mean it is necessary if you're the kind of person you are. But I'm saying it's going to always piss off people that read the canon. Just my opinion. The movies is going to always piss off people that read these books and know what the facts should be, because sometimes the facts in canon is not going to project because
writing or
I will give Lucasfilm credit on this. Okay, God damn it, I hate when you make me do this. I don't want to give them credit on this. They have not broken canon yet. Okay, they have the way they do this at Lucasfilm is JJ will have his script. He gives it to the storyboard team. The storyboard team then goes through the script and be like, "Well, you can't do this because we already did this in canon, or this contradicts canon." And then they switch it around or fix it so it doesn't contradict canon. So the way they have it in plays, that makes sense. So there's nothing in these movies that contradicts or breaks canon. The whole point of canon is you have your average fans that just go to the movies and all they care about is the movies. But then you get people like me who go, but I want to know more about it. So the canon is for me to know more about,
But see, that's why I think everything was better when there was canon, and canon, I think canon should be like strict canon should be what we see in the movies. And loose canon, like what they did with the EU is fine, because not everybody is a reader, and not everybody is going to follow that. So anybody who is not a reader is not going to be up to like everything in canon, because they just see the movies. That's the
way it is now. That's the way it is now. You can watch Force Awakens and not have to know about fucking Mom Mothma being on Trandrilla and being or almost attempted assassin.
Well, sure, but like you said, give you like 6 months or so, and when they write these new books or what have you, you'll have answers to this. This stuff should be answered. If it's not answered in the movies, it shouldn't be answered at all.
The original trilogy had problems like that. No one knew what the fuck the Clone Wars were until
I agree. But then they made the prequels.
Exactly.
But he didn't do books. He didn't do books
but at that but he didn't do. But that's because after Return of the Jedi, he had no plans to do anything. It wasn't until Timothy Zahn's trilogy came out, and Lucas was the first person to say, "Look, none of that's connected to my movies."
Right.
He doesn't even like Mara Jade, which is a blasphemy because I love Mara Jade.
Unfortunate, because Mara Jade, I love her.
I mean, look, say what you want about the old EU. There's some great stories in the old EU. There's some not so great stories in the old EU. But George Lucas didn't pay attention to none of that.
No, he didn't.
And
why would he? Because all of EU.
But wouldn't he have to give those writers of the EU permission to use his
characters? Yeah,
IP?
but he's getting a percentage of all that back.
And a lot. I mean, the EU was based on a lot of characters that were created specifically for the EU as well. But I mean, it was all based on the original idea by George Lucas. So yeah,
he had to greenlight some of that stuff.
Yeah, and he did, because he got major kickbacks for it.
Yeah.
So everything that sold in the EU, he saw a big percentage of.
But he came out clearly. Yeah, but he came out clearly and was like, look, that it's not canon here. And he had like a whole chart. Like there was like different letters of alphabets that's were canons. Like the books are this canon and that canon, like nothing connected. Whereas now you can pick up a book, a comic, or whatever, and be like, this in some way is relevant to the movies now. You don't have to do that, but for the fans like me, it's a payoff for me.
Yeah,
it's just too much, man. It's just too much.
If I was the next person that's going to replace Miss Kennedy, I would go and say, look, can I pick the 5 best canon or the 5 best EU, and say, look, can we do standalones? And that's what I would do.
Yeah, I would. I'm with you.
They should have done that for the sequel trilogy.
I definitely would do. I think I would tackle the Rule of Two. That will explain everybody how the Darth.
They're going to touch on that. They're going to touch on that. But they should have done that for the sequel trilogy. They should have took if they wanted to go with this female and male, light side, dark side, whatever. They could have easily just done Jason and Jana Solo.
Oh yeah,
and just did the fucking Legacy of the Force. But that's on Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one that didn't know they had source material. So, but Dave Filoni's been doing that for years now. Dave Filoni's been going there picking and choosing little things, you know?
Well, hopefully they'll give him his chance at the bat. Him or either Jon Favreau. So in 5 years, we all have a different conversation. Because I think in 5 years, Star Wars is going to be back on top.
Yeah, I said in my video today that I think the reason that more people are rallying around the Mandalorian and have high hopes for the Kenobi series as opposed to the sequel trilogy is because there is a completely different creative team in control of what's happening on Disney Plus.
If the Kenobi series is like what Rob said, I'm all for it.
Well, that's just my fan.
I'm gonna be a little disappointed because he had me hyped up for that idea he was kicking around.
It was just well, the reason why I came up with that idea is because you look at everything that's been going on in that time period. It's all been sort of the same outline. Like Fallen Order, the video game, is in that time period. It has Inquisitors. Rebels is in that time period. It has Inquisitors. There was something else, but they all have Inquisitors in that time period. You're not going to put Obi-Wan in there and not have him lightsaber duel. That would be the dumbest thing Lucasfilm has ever done. No. You know,
so, especially since Ewan McGregor, had previous training.
Yeah,
like the serious lightsaber duel.
I would love to see a live action Inquisitor lightsaber.
Dude, that would be clean as hell because I believe at that time the Grand Inquisitor is still alive because he doesn't die until Rebels. Obi-Wan's already like much older at that point. So we could see him go up against maybe Obi-Wan starts hearing about them taking all these former Jedi, and turning them into Inquisitors. And that's when he goes and finds out that Vader is still alive. You know, there's so much they can do with that. And Deborah Chow, I believe in that girl. I believe in that girl.
I do too. But the only thing I will say, and I think I've said it before, is they have to not make it standalone like the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It has to be more of a continuous storyline, like an overall arcing story.
Yeah. 100%. Darkside Doshi comes in with another super chat. He's my MVP today. Poe Lightspeed skipping. What was that first planet? I have no fucking idea.
The lights.
I like that part, but Rob think it's stupid.
The Lightspeed skipping, it is fucking stupid.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Was just JJ, man. They did the same thing in Star Trek with the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah. So he was just ripping himself off.
Yeah, comic is or not comic explain. I keep saying comic explain, but Star Wars explained why it was such a stupid thing because something that they established earlier in the movies that you can't do that. Oh, because Han did it to get on Starkiller Base, but you can't do light speed to get out of a planet. You can't do that. That's why in every Star Wars movie you always see them leave the atmosphere first before they do that.
You got the gravitational pull, man.
Yeah, so by them doing it from planet to planet inside the atmosphere, it just doesn't make sense to the Star Wars rules that's already been established.
It would have completely destroyed the Falcon.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it came back smoke.
When he finally landed, it was damn on fire, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, they wouldn't have made it back to land if they were doing that.
And I hated Poe flying the Falcon. I hated. I said when I saw the TV spot, I was like, well, it doesn't look like he's gonna be flying it for long. And then they opened up with the movie him flying it. I'm like, fuck.
I know, I was the same way. And then my friend was like, well, and he hates the sequel trilogies, but he was like, well, he is supposed to be like the new Han Solo and stuff, but man, it should have been Chewie flying it.
Yes, make Poe his co-pilot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I got 2 super chats that just popped in, but I want to get back to what you said about him being Han because that reminded me of something I want to bring up. So Poetic Gangster comes with a super chat. Thank you. With the direction of all 3 of you want Star Wars to go now, what direction? I think he's asking us what direction we want Star Wars.
Do all 3 of us want Star Wars to go now?
I want them to go Knights of the Republic. Very simple answer for me. I want to see Jedi and Sith in their heyday.
I can agree with that.
I like the idea that we talked about a few streams ago about them just doing the origins of the Sith and the origins of the Jedi separately,
and then have intertwined
meeting, at some point.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Because
Rob,
That
When
would
I
be
saw that red, boy, I got happy for you for a second.
You thought it was Lucifer? I think
Boy,
Lucifer split on me, man. I don't think he's coming back, man. But I
got happy, boy.
The Aquarian says, I loved Rise. 8 out of 10. It could be stronger. I mean, dude, look, I seen it 3 times. I gotta admit, I had a much funner experience the 3rd time. I still have a lot of problems with the movie. I just think I can't criticize Justice League and not criticize this movie. They both feel like they were put together almost the same way. Yeah. So I would be a hypocrite to say Justice League is a sloppy movie.
This movie is far superior than Justice League.
No, it is. It is. But the beginning structure is almost the same.
I would put this on par with the slop of Justice League.
It's very sloppy, this first half of this movie.
I'm not doubting it was. I'm not saying it wasn't sloppy, but I'm just saying if I had $10 and I had to see one movie, I wouldn't even consider. And the only 2 choices I had was Justice League and Star Wars. I wouldn't even consider Justice League.
I mean, dude, I'm with you. I'd rather jack off a sandpaper to go see Justice League.
No, not me. If I had to choose between Rise of Skywalker and Justice League, even though Justice League was a hot mess just like this was, and I understand they're written by the same person, I would pick Justice League just because at the end of the day, I'm DC, man. I'm DC.
I respect that. I respect that. But at least Emperor Palpatine's upper lip wasn't CGI'd.
True story. Now, the rest of him was. I mean, it was horrible.
That's true.
He was like the equivalent of Steppenwolf in Justice League.
Steppenwolf looked bad though, man.
Yeah, well, so did Palpatine.
Yeah, that's because they gave like Ian McDermott with like no Palpatine face makeup. They just put like white contacts on.
Yeah, that ghostly appearance, whatever.
Yeah, he
was like a Palpatine zombie, man. It was.
That's what exactly he looked like a zombie.
Yeah.
What would you prefer? Knights of the Old Republic be a movie or TV series? I think you can go movie for that. We got so many TV series coming. We got to, because if they do Knights of the Old Republic TV series, then what are we going to do for the movies then?
Well, but if they did Knights of the Old Republic on a TV series, you could probably dive deeper into it than
that's true.
Movie. And Knights of the Old Republic, you can go really deep in.
Yeah, that's true. Like I would love a Star Wars Game of Thrones, but
it needs more than 8 episodes.
Yeah. Well, I think this is just them, testing the waters.
And I would jump to 45 minutes. I wouldn't. I want
an hour.
Yeah, I want actually. If they give us a solid hour, without any, I understand. Like a normal hour TV show is probably like 45
minutes.
Yeah, but if they give us a solid hour uninterrupted.
I don't think they give the hour because they got to watch costs for that. That's why I think they cut it down to 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, that's the reason why they did it. It was Mandalorian is just their test.
Yes, it's because they started out with the Mandalorian because no one is invested in the Mandalorian, but with Kenobi, everyone is invested in Obi-Wan Kenobi, especially since Ewan McGregor is coming back. So it could easily be longer.
Where are they filming?
What?
Florida? Where are they filming the series at?
What series?
Kenobi?
Kenobi, Mandalorian. Is that being
probably filmed in Los Angeles?
Los Angeles or Florida?
Ain't filming no Florida. I would know.
Really? Because I would think if like filming Kenobi, they would film like in the same spot.
I think they would be on location for Kenobi.
Yeah.
So
I would take a page out of CW and go where it's cheaper at and just film everything in Canada. Save the cost.
Yeah, but Disney's got that Disney money, man.
They do, and they want to make it authentic as possible.
Yeah, because I mean, Star Wars fans.
Yeah, there's not many deserts in Canada, so
no, you're not going to find a Tatooine,
no,
in Canada. I mean,
see, you can go out like in Vegas or somewhere and go to a desert and film Kenobi, So they're not, but they're I don't know.
Filming in the States is pretty damn expensive.
Yeah,
that's why Supergirl left.
Yeah,
I think it was like $1 million episode. They was running out of money.
It was something stupid like that. Yeah,
it was crazy.
More than what Supergirl was worth. Where is our Jar Jar or Ewok series? Justice for both.
I hope it's still in the trash.
I don't want an Ewok series. We already know what happens to Jar Jar. He's not going to get a series. But Ahmed Best will be in the new Star Wars game show that's coming to Disney Plus.
Oh my god,
it's going to be awesome, dude.
I think see, I loved Ewoks when I was a kid. You know,
I always hated them.
But I think too much time has passed to have a series, and Jar Jar. I mean, like you said, we know what happened to Jar Jar, so nah. Give us Kenobi, and then let's go from there.
The only way I want to see an Ewok show is if stormtroopers are hunting their little asses. I fucking hate the Ewoks. Worst part of Return of the Jedi, man. Oh, fucking man. Okay, I'm gonna answer this one. I'm gonna start to wrap it up. Poetic Gangster says, "You guys name one or two of your favorite Marvel DC characters and why." That's kind of hard for a $2 super chat, but are we talking about MCU or in comics?
Well, they didn't say MCU, so I would just go Marvel and DC personally.
I'll pick one from each. I'll pick Spider-Man for Marvel and Superman for DC.
That's fair. And why?
Why? Well, I was always a Superman fan ever since I've seen Superman 2. And I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was in 5th grade because Peter Parker's a real dude. It goes through real shit, man.
True story. True story. What about you, Danny?
For Marvel, I'm always been a Wolverine fan. I love the way Hugh Jackman did them. I love the comic books. And for number 2, DC is always going to be Batman. To me, Batman is the most dangerous man in the DC comic book, the DCU. He has no superpowers. He just goes on willpower and doggone intestinal fortitude. He's a genius beyond geniuses. So he's my favorite.
I would go Superman because Superman is tied with Batman as my number one superhero of all time, but Superman probably would edge out Batman because Superman, he was my first superhero that I was ever exposed to. And, you know, I just love everything about Superman, you know. As far as Marvel goes, I would have to go with the MCU's interpretation of Tony Stark. I really, really like what Robert Downey Jr. did.
I like that too.
See, I would have went with Steve Rogers in the MCU.
Well, then that's equally as great, yeah.
Because
Tony Stark.
Yeah, I just feel like MCU's Tony Stark is almost like Batman.
Exactly.
Where I feel like Steve Rogers MCU feels like what Superman stands for.
Yeah.
So that's why I always
Robert Downey Jr. played a better Tony Stark than Ben Affleck played a better Batman.
I'm not comparing actors. I'm talking about just the characters in general.
You're not wrong.
I'm just talking about what their ideals are as their characters.
Yeah.
Where you look at Tony Stark, he's a rich playboy who's a superhero. Batman, a rich playboy who's a superhero. Yeah. Captain America is a guy who stands for right what's wrong and he doesn't waver. Superman does what's right and what's wrong, you know, and he doesn't waver. So I'm just comparing their ideals.
I mean, back in the day, it was essentially truth, justice, and the American way for both of them. So
yeah, if you're in Superman Returns, just truth, justice, and all that. Does he still stand for truth, justice, and all that?
Yeah.
So Darkside Dochi comes in with super chat. And this is gonna be the last one I take because I gotta go take a shower and shit. Thoughts on the score for the sequel trilogy? I love the score in the sequel trilogy. I don't think it's better than the prequels. I think the prequels have the best score. I love the prequel score, man. Whether it's Duel of the Fates, Across the Stars, you know, I just love the prequel score. But what's that?
I don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue.
John Williams did
about the score.
About the score.
I couldn't tell you what song played in what. All I could tell you is it was good.
Dude, you're killing me right now.
I'm telling you, casual. I don't care about the music.
Yeah, but John Williams, man. John Williams is a legend. John Williams gave us Superman. He gave us
word for it. Do I remember? If you bring me a scene, I always remember Superman theme. But for me to sit down here and say, "Oh, the score in Empire Strikes Back was awesome," and the score in Last Jedi, I can't remember. I just don't. I'm sorry.
As far as like Star Wars themes and scores go, John Williams is always on point. I mean, my two favorite scores, or what are they called? Not scores, but my two favorite composers for film would be John Williams and Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman, not as much as John Williams, but I really do like a lot of Danny Elfman's scores.
See, I would say John Williams and Hans Zimmer, because what Hans Zimmer did for the DCEU was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
He also did the Say What You Want About Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hans Zimmer did the score for that. Like, Hans Zimmer's on point when it comes to those superhero movies.
He would be my third. Absolutely.
I remember a particular song, like, of course, dun dun dun. Oh, we know that's Darth Vader, and then the dun, 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 dun. I remember that, but
I will say this: I love the score in the sequel trilogy, especially Last Jedi. I like the whole bump, 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 and then like I forgot what the trailer was, but like dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. It's so good. But if you ever, like, I know you're not a score person, Danny, but if you ever go back, there's a documentary called The Prequel Strike Back, where this guy breaks down the score for the prequels, and it's the same exact score for the original trilogy. They just use different key tones. Like Leia's theme is the same theme as Padme. They just use different key tones, and it's so genius the way they do it.
Really cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's just like they slow it down a little bit, but it's so good. But I mean, I like the score is important to me. Like any movie, like if you go back to BVS, that scene where Superman dies at the end doesn't play as well if you don't have Hans Zimmer's score.
Yeah, the score. Well, that's exactly why we have music in movies, because the movie may be like visually stunning, but it's the score that really helps sell the emotion.
Yeah,
right.
Same thing. Like can you as good as the battle in Phantom Menace is, if you don't have that Duel of Fates music playing, it's completely different scene.
Well, also, I mean, the opening, like the theme for the opening crawl of Star Wars, I mean, that is just legendary.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine the opening crawl of Star Wars being played with any other music other than that.
Yeah, that's why Rogue One and Solo was so jarring.
Yeah,
it was like, and I kind of like Rogue One's score, but it's I like the Mandalorian score, but to me it doesn't feel very Star Wars-ishy.
I can tell that it sounds just like something straight out of Creed or Rocky.
Dude, yes.
Well, it's the composer that did Creed.
Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He did Creed and Black Panther.
Okay,
because he's Ryan Coogler's boy. They went to
when
college.
It comes on, man. I could see Rocky and Apollo Creed, man. I'm like,
Apollo Creed is in Mandalorian, so
and that's why they need to get someone like Kevin Kiner, who did Rebels. Like, he makes new music, but he adds the old music to it as well. Yeah. And there hasn't been anything music related that sounds like Star Wars in the Mandalorian yet.
No. Especially when he was fighting that that mud rhino, whatever.
Yeah,
that's not a straight up Rocky.
God, if we don't get Star Wars music in Obi-Wan, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, well, it's really kind of a missed opportunity, considering Mandalorian's only 5 years after Jedi.
Yeah,
so, you would think that there would be some sort of musical tie-in there, but
something.
But yeah, I mean, Kenobi definitely needs to have some OG Star Wars music in it.
Yeah. So, anyway,
no,
go ahead, Shaun.
I was gonna say, like, with Kenobi, since Kenobi is connected to the original prequel series and even the original series, I wouldn't be mad at the idea of giving each episode a crawl.
Yes, I would have liked that for this too.
Yeah,
just kind of give you
for Mandalorian.
Yeah,
but it's even more fitting for Kenobi.
For Kenobi, it is. If maybe not every episode, but at least open up the season with it.
Yes, and end it with
do like end scene credits for Mandalorian instead of the scene as when they come on and show what happened to the last. They need to do that at the end of each episode. I think the end scene credit
for some reason that's something that's all on Kathleen Kennedy, because when they did the Star Wars like Rogue One and stuff, she's like, we need to get away from what saga films are because it's got to be unique for the sagas, which isn't true. Like, it would be so good at the end of the Mandalorian, it goes the da-da-da, and it goes da, 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 and it has the credits there. That's Star Wars. Even the video games have that. They
do.
So
Jon Favreau could slide that in there though.
Yeah. They have these little recaps at the end or the beginning of each episode on Disney Plus. That could have been
at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like Mandalorian. I really do. I just wish they would add a little more Star Wars element, like what makes Star Wars Star Wars.
That would just really put it over the top for a lot of us.
It would. Obi-Wan at least has to have that.
Yes. It's just not gonna be authentic if it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan is from the era of John Williams. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, when you think of Star Wars, you think of the OG characters, and Obi-Wan is one of them.
Yeah, and they got to play that Force theme at some point in that Obi-Wan series. So,
and I mean, Duel of the Fates would be awesome too.
Yeah. Well, when Baby Yoda was doing a little mud horn using the Force, he should be using the Force theme in there.
Yep.
So like when he's healing Creed or Carl Weathers, when he's healing him, play the Force theme. Like, you have the fucking Force theme.
They have the rights to the music, so why not use it?
Yeah. I don't understand
when he's gesturing just like Yoda. So I would do exactly how Yoda did when he left up the X-wing out of the swamp for Luke.
Yeah.
I play that same music.
Yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna call it a night. It was a good night. We had like what was the highest amount of people we had watching at once? I don't got my statistics up there, but we had like almost 90 people watching, which is not bad.
We still got 73, so that's awesome.
Yeah, we got 73 people watching still. But I have the link to Shaun and Danny's channel in the description below, guys. Be sure to go over there, check them out, check out their channels. And do you guys want to plug in? Go ahead, plug your stuff real quick, guys.
Go ahead.
My name is Danny Graham. My channel is Comment Chat. You can reach me on Twitter at Comment Chats with S, or Comment Chat is my YouTube channel. I do something every Sunday. I got a special upload I'm going to do tomorrow, kind of based on what we talked about tonight.
How much you love Canon?
Oh, yeah. I love Canon, man. That's eat, breathe, and sleep that, man. But again, I want to say this publicly. I didn't say it to Shaun last time, but trying to give him my $1,000 hump. I mean, my 1,000 subscriber hump. Y'all too. The last stream we did together, when I went off, y'all plugged me and pushed people to it. I want to say I really appreciate it, man. Y'all didn't have to do that, but you did. I appreciate it. I won't forget it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I am Shaun Stackhouse. You can find me at Shaun Stackhouse Reacts and at Shaun Stackhouse on YouTube. Tomorrow at 2:00 Central Standard Time, I am doing the second annual Christmas stream. So anybody is invited. I'm going to have rotating guests. So anybody who wants to pop in and be in the chat, anybody who wants to be on the stream, send me a DM. It's just all about being festive and celebrating this season and the community that we all have as YouTubers.
Good deal. I'm gonna probably check that out when I go to lunch tomorrow. That's what I do when I'm on my lunch break. I just go back and watch other people's YouTube stuff.
I hear you.
So, all right, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. I thank you guys for joining me. Once again, their YouTube channels are in the description below, guys, so be sure to check them out. Subscribe to their channel. And until next time, as always, Danny Graham hates Canon.
Yes, he does.
Later.